Alright, let's get ready because we got some more movies to talk about. So, hi, I'm Awesome Joe, and welcome to another episode of Playback to Back. And we've got 5 more movies that I would love to talk to you guys about that I just recently watched and enjoyed and was entertained by them. So, let's go ahead and get started here because I'm so happy to talk about movies, but more importantly, I'm more happy to talk about them with you. So first off, let's go ahead and talk about A Million Ways to Die in the West. If you guys aren't familiar with this movie, it's directed by Seth MacFarlane, who did Family Guy and Ted 2, and American Dad, I believe. So this guy, he's got some talent and some comedic performances, but his movies aren't really as brilliant, but they are very entertaining though, but not very much to where you would call a really excellent film. So not only does Seth MacFarlane direct this movie, he also stars in it, and we also got some other performances in the movie like Charlize Theron and Amanda Seyfried, Neil Patrick Harris, and Liam Neeson. And this movie, it's an entertaining film. You know, it gets you to jump up with some laughs. But is it a really good movie? Of course not. It's just a parody film based in the Western lifestyle as to how things were in a comedic perspective. And we got Liam Neeson, who's in the movie, who plays the villain, and you know you can never get enough of Liam Neeson. So he does very good. And then also have Charlize Theron, who she still remarkably looks gorgeous and is also a talented actress. So you would wonder as to, for a certain movie such as this, why would we have 2 brilliant actor and actresses in this film? I'm pretty sure it's just a simple paycheck for them, but to be honest with you, it's not a movie to be taken seriously other than the fact of having fun and making this movie a very enjoyable film for people to laugh to about, because it is a very funny film, but it just takes it to a certain notch to where you just feel like, okay, that's enough. We don't really need to continue seeing more and more of that. So, but it's an okay film. You know, it's a great movie to laugh about with. And on Rotten Tomatoes, of course, it's not at a very high ranking. They gave it a 33%, which I highly agree. It deserves a very low rating, regardless of how funny the film is. So I gave it a 29%. Lower than what Rotten Tomatoes would give it. Because like I said, it's a very enjoyable and funny film, but it's not an important film to follow through with, other than the fact of saying it's just a funny film. So it's okay. So if you guys haven't watched this movie, I'd recommend you guys to go ahead and go and watch it. I mean, it's not that bad. It's if you guys want to have a good laugh, this is a good movie to watch for that. But other than that, it's just not an important film to even talk about after having to watch the film at all, period. So let's go ahead and jump on to the next film, you guys. So with throwing comedy aside, let's go ahead and get a little bit more serious here with a film directed by Jodie Foster, which is called Money Monster. And Money Monster stars George Clooney, and we also got Julia Roberts in the mix. We've got also Dominic West and Jack O'Connell. And this movie, I really did enjoy the previews to the film. It got me inspired and wanting to watch a movie such as this, because it does deal with an everyday life type of situation where normal average people such as us are dealing with financial troubles. And so the character that's played by Jack O'Connell, he gets himself in a situation of holding George Clooney's character hostage and including all the other cast and crew, in order to get his word out and to find out why is it that his stocks are no longer there. They're disappeared. You know, he's broke. So, and he believes that the system is very much screwed up, and he's just trying to find out what it is that's going on by holding George Clooney hostage and putting a bomb vest on him, and and not even for ransom, but just to get, not even to have his way. It's just he's just trying to, because he knows that he doesn't have the upper power, so he tries to figure out a way to do what he can to get the upper power. Now, is it the right choice to do? No, but and And when I first saw the preview, I really thought that this could be a really great movie to watch. It could be a really entertaining film to enjoy. But if you'd ask me, it was, but it really was not. I mean, it wasn't really a movie to where it got you anticipated into wanting to watch the film. But throughout the film, it just kind of very much just threw you out. It wasn't really a film to where you can say that it was one to remember by. And I don't want to give it out any spoilers because it is a movie to enjoy and to want to watch and to have a great entertaining time with. Because on Rotten Tomatoes they gave it a 57%, and as much as I would like to agree with that ratings, I would have to go down a little bit to a 50% because I was pretty much on the borderline of wondering as to whether or not this is a movie to enjoy or not, because I was really curious to the fact of wondering if both George Clooney and Julia Roberts were going to have a great connection in working together in a film such as this, especially directed by Jodie Foster here. But if you had asked me, I don't really think that the two very much worked very well together because I've seen Julia Roberts work very well with other different actors and actresses, as long as with George Clooney and himself. But I don't really think that it is a film to where these actors and actresses really worked well together. So which is why I gave it a borderline rating. So that's my ratings for it. If you guys have a different perspective onto this film, you can always leave a comment in the section in the bottom, and we can have an awesome conversation regarding towards this film or any film in particular that you guys would like to discuss. So let's go ahead and jump on to the next film that I would love to discuss with you guys today. Now, a film that I really, really would love to discuss with you guys is the movie Focus. Focus, I think that it is a really great film, especially one that you would have to put a lot of attention towards because it's very an interesting film if you'd ask me. So this movie is directed by John Requa and Glenn Ficarra. Excuse me if I have a very bad pronunciation of these names here. It's very easy enough to say that this movie stars both Will Smith and Margot Robbie. And these two, I think that these two really do work very well together, especially even though if you've watched them both on how they work together on Suicide Squad. But this movie came out before Suicide Squad, and I think that this movie works tremendously well with these two together. They're both very talented actor and actresses, and I think that this movie, the first half of the film is very, very entertaining, very intriguing. It pretty much brings you into the world of how the way the system works on, having to have low-class theft of stealing purses, wallets, so on and so forth. And in the middle of the movie, there's this certain scene that is like at least maybe 10 to 15 minutes long, where it's so it builds up the anticipation in you. It's just like, oh my God, it's so crazy because we got Margot Robbie, who is not a professional in this lifestyle, but yet she is introduced to Will Smith's character, who is very much like a mentor to her to bring her into on how the life system works and becoming more of a professional in that system. But I really liked it in the middle of the film where they are getting themselves into the situation to where you cannot really know what's going to happen next, but you're excited to see what happens next. But then after, in the second half of the film, it pretty much just drops everything and moves, I think it was 3 years later. I really hate that part. It really just draws you out of the film, and it's like as if you're dealing with one half of the film that's one movie, and then the second part of the film is a different completely another movie, but it's still an enjoyable film. I had a lot of fun with it. On Rotten Tomatoes they gave it a 56%, and I picked it up a notch to where I agreed it to be a 69%. I really did enjoy this movie a lot more than I anticipated it to be. So it's a great film. What did you guys think? You can always leave a comment in the section down below and have an awesome conversation regard towards this film. So let's go ahead and jump on to the next film, you guys. It keeps on getting better and better and better. Why? Because The Accountant is a movie that I did not think that I would enjoy, even after having to watch the preview for it and enjoying that. But the movie was even better, and I'm going to let you guys know why. So this movie is directed by Gavin O'Connor, and we've got Ben Affleck in here, we've got Anna Kendrick, J.K. Simmons, and Jon Bernthal. And this movie, it was a great movie to me. I think so, because I mean, I can tell that Ben Affleck has very much improved in his acting profession, ever since when he first started in his acting career. And I think that he does tremendously well. He plays a character who's autistic, and he lives in his own little world, and which creates him to have the capability of learning numbers and to putting stuff together, putting puzzling pieces together, and and it's very interesting, because I have a son who is like that too, and it just brings you more into of a better understanding as to what the mind of an autistic person has. But he's not some ordinary autistic person. He's actually somebody who took things to another level, to where he became more intriguing with the ways of having to learn to fire guns, learning how to fight, and not only just with himself, but along with his brother as well. And then he's got all these kung fu moves. He's just like a secret agent, but who's an accountant. And it's very, very entertaining, and having to see what he can do and how and what he's capable of. And I love Anna Kendrick and Ben Affleck's performances together. They really do work very well together. I really did enjoy those two working together. And I really do admire J.K. Simmons, of him being in this film, but I didn't really feel like there was very much use of his character within this movie. But I still enjoy J.K. Simmons' performances. He does a tremendous job. And of course, Jon Bernthal, of course, we all know who he is. He's Marvel's Punisher, and he was in The Walking Dead. But he's still a really brilliant actor. He's really bringing a lot to the table when he's in these films. And he does a really great job with doing what he does. And on Rotten Tomatoes, they gave it a 52%. But I really did enjoy this movie a little bit more, to where I picked up the ranking to a 68%, because it was very entertaining. I thought I wasn't going to like this film, but it came out to be a very, very great film to watch. So I encourage you guys to go and watching The Accountant. If you guys don't know what it is, you guys know, watch it. I promise you guys are going to enjoy it as much as I did. So let's go ahead and jump on to the last film, guys. Another movie that I thought that I wasn't going to enjoy, but I enjoyed this one a lot. Lone Survivor, another movie directed by Peter Berg and starring Mark Wahlberg. After watching Patriots Day and enjoying that movie, I figured I'd go ahead and give this movie a chance, and I gotta say, I loved it a lot. Of course, this movie stars Mark Wahlberg, Taylor Kitsch, Ben Foster, Emile Hirsch, and Eric Bana. And I think that this movie, it was a great film, and it's based on a true story about these four soldiers who are on a mission to kill this Iraqi terrorist for having to kill 20 of their soldiers. And so they were on a mission to go and kill this individual, but they happen to fail the mission when they are stumbled across three other people who are within the village of that person that they're on the mission for. And they are in a predicament as to wondering as to whether or not that they should let go of these people or not, because they're innocent lives still. They're not there for them. They're there for the bad guy. So they decided to go ahead and be good people, good soldiers, and let them go. And because of that reason, they went ahead and let them know that they're after him. And so they sent all of their reinforcements in to go after them. And it's this massive gunfight in the woods, and which lasts like a good 30 minutes to 45 minutes long, and it's just amazing. I mean, at the very beginning of the film, I mean, it's just so amazing, and having to see kind of what these true American heroes go through to becoming these great soldiers that protect our really brilliant country of ours. it's a great movie. I'm really happy for this movie. It's a great film. I love this movie a lot. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 76%, and I have to love it enough to where I give it a 79%. It is a great, excellent film. If you guys haven't watched this movie, I anticipate you guys to go and watch it. It's a great film. I know you guys will enjoy it as much as I did. So that's my movie reviews that I have for you guys today. What did you guys think? You can always leave a comment in the section in the bottom, and we'll have an awesome conversation in regards towards these films, or any films that you have in particularly in mind, because I love to talk about movies, but more importantly, I love to talk about it with you. And as always, stay awesome. Thanks, guys. I'll go ahead and see you in the next video. Bye.